The winter moon just hangs in the sky, thinking about a lot of things, but never wondering why. Smoking all my consciousness away.
Welcome to the darkest corners of the world, the podcast that explores the shadows and echoes of global music. Unveil the mysteries and enchanting sounds from the farthest reaches of the planet. From the haunting melodies and the hidden alleyways to the gritty beats of the underground scenes. Each episode delves into the undiscovered realms of musical expression. Join us as we navigate through the enigmatic and eclectic, shining a spotlight on the musical treasures that emerge from the darkest corners of our diverse world. And with us today is quite possibly the most hard to describe band I've ever had on the show. People have asked me, well, what does it sound like? What does it sound like? And I say, well, I don't know. I can't describe it. And I'd say you'd have to hear it. You'd have to hear it on the show. And I played it on the last episode. I'm going to play it on the show. I'm going to play more on the show today. And I thought, well, what's a better way to describe the sound of JamArt other than to have JamArt on themselves? And here we are. And it's Ershon. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you on the show. And so give me a little bit about, if I were to describe this sound to someone who's never heard this before, what would I say? How do I describe this to somebody?
People have referred to it as a little bit of Opeth, a little bit of Devin Townsend, a little bit of System of a Down, around that sort of genre.
The videos are so good. They're so good. They're artistic, yet they're minimalist. And and if you haven't seen them, you got to check them out. And the one video, it's you got the lady dancing around artistically, and I think that's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, like, how did you string those videos together?
Okay, so for the one with the lady dancing around, that's Kim Zehra, her name is. She helps me, bit of like a roadie. She also does a lot of the technical sort of emailing and things like that to try and get my band out there in the world. She did score a gig with Judas Priest, actually, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I was reading that. Judas Priest. Now, are we talking original lineup?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, it's at the Metalhead meeting in Romania.
Wow!
Yeah, so really stoked. I talked through I think it was a Total Metal booking and Metal Devastation. I think it was a few different people she had emailed, and eventually they got back and said, "Yeah, we like your stuff. There is a slot here, and come over." I thought, wicked.
Yeah. Metal Devastation is a great ally of the program here on Darkest Corners of the World. They're a great ally. We work with them quite a bit, and
they've been doing quite a bit of promotion for us lately. Thankfully.
Yeah, and that's how we were brought to Jam. Is it JamArt, right?
Yeah, you can say it as JamArt or JamArt or however. I like to let people say how they read it, and it's just entertaining for me because all the ways work. But I never even thought of a way myself. It's just like basically the word JamArt or JamArt is the original word where the word jam comes from. It's like an old Aramaic word that over the years we have used as jam, like traffic jam, strawberry jam. JamArt is like the word for when they congregate in mosques and stuff, and they're like a group of people. That's called a JamArt of people.
Is that right? I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, I'm real thankful that I found that out, and because I like to look at the source and the original meaning of things. And so JamArt is basically jam, but the original word that's not even English.
Wow. See that blows my mind. I was like, so like these guys that sound amazing, like they're just calling themselves JamArt. And I was like, and like I'm picturing like this like late 90s looking like, thing, like with the, the artwork, like looking crazy with the, neon sunglasses jamming. But no, that's not what that means, apparently. I'm glad you explained that. And as you do know, on the show, we play bands from all over the world, Darkest Corners, specifically. The band's called MALOMBRA. The song is called Phantasmagoria. They're from Italy, and the song is called Tres. Here it is.
In quegli specchi racchiusi dentro vecchi cappotti a martingalo palco, noi spettrali come scile, vuoi per languore ostile commentavamo dentro il bistro le nuove apocalittiche, le cronache dai fronti che in estasi narcotica l'Europa già tracciava. Se al nostro Nietzsche non puoi più rivolgerti, vai già, ti dice non puoi non accorgerti che noi non siamo che morti che brindano, che non si staccheranno mai dalle note del piano scordato su cui fai un potpourri di motivi che struggono già scampoli della boe, incontrando puntuale le lacrime nel refrain, nel refrain. Strana sera, passata alla frontiera, nessuno ripensò più finché venne per tutti quel momento di restituire al vento il soffio della vita, perché nessuno infatti si salvò, normalmente ritornò la vigilia sbronza di paure e libagioni. C'è chi finì cancellato dagli obici, chi sputò l'anima in mezzo ai gas tossici, e se luce del tempo e se nulla più avanza ormai da dissolvere, tranne che la condivisa afflizione d'un attimo avvinta con l'eternità. E per noi che riecheggia quel valzer, quel che fa.
And what you just heard was a song called Phantasmagoria. Bands from Italy, they're called MALOMBRA. Very fantastic stuff. Very fantastic stuff there. Almost akin to Black Sabbath in a way, with Italian singing on it. So anyway, we're right back here with JamArt or JamArt. And we're talking about what JamArt means. We were talking about videos. We were talking about describing music, and we were talking about describing stuff that is hard to describe. There's a lot of things that go into music itself. There's a lot of things that go into making an album. Making an album is not always the easiest thing you could think of. Sometimes it just comes naturally. Sometimes it doesn't. And you need the people that are willing to go along, with an idea that you have. And you have to have that sort of sense of you have to fix the person before you fix the problem. Before you make the song, you have to make the person understand the song. How did you make this group of people understand your idea and your concept?
So this particular group of people all of them are friends. So they know me, and I was very relaxed with them, and I was able to express it exactly how I wanted it, and they just all got it. A great bunch. And the videographer or cinematographer as well, he Peter Ranzullo, he's like a world-renowned video guy, and he's also a friend. And man, he's like, well, when I explain a song, I've done all my videos with him. I've done a few more, and he just gets it immediately, and he knows what I'm talking about. And he's actually he adds stuff to it sometimes, and I have never rejected anything he's added. And because it's sort of like, hey, yeah, that actually fits really well. So I'm really fortunate like that. And in the last video I did, Damien, he's like the perfect actor for the video that I did. Like his body, his demeanor, all of it is just incredible. I'm really fortunate. A lot of things I feel just happened because it was just meant to happen, you know? Like I didn't really decide on a lot of things. I just wanted something and things just happened. I'm really thankful for that, you know?
So it's almost as if like things came to be by, you know, divine providence. You want to call divine providence that, or you could say things are meant to happen because they happen for a reason.
Yeah. Like if you look at life backwards, like, you know, this happened, that only happened because this happened, and that happened because that happened, going backwards, you know, not like if you do this, this will happen, and if you do that, that will happen. It's more like this happened because this happened before that, and you just work your way back, and it just, I don't know, it's like a mathematical thing. It's like nothing else could happen, otherwise the world would probably blow up or something. I don't know. End of the universe.
And I think that's the questions that a lot of people are afraid to ask in, you know, band interviews is the philosophical questions, you know, like how did these songs come to fruition, you know? And I think a lot of it is some sort of divine providence. I think a lot of it is things happen because they are meant to happen. And just like you said, things happen in reverse because, just like you said, it only takes one, you know, butterfly effect to make something change.
Yeah, totally. That's what I love about this planet is there's always a link. You know, there's always a link going back to something, and finding that just like the name JamArt. You know, the word JamArt is the original link of the word jam. So.
Right. So. All right, so next song is from a band called Plymouth Fury. Their album is Run Away from Love, and the song is called Stoned. Here they are. Yep, Stoned. Cool. From Italy, this is Plymouth Fury with their song Stoned. right back here on Darkest Corners of the World. What you just heard was a band called Plymouth Fury from their album Runaway from Love. The song was called Stoned, and they're from Italy. Fantastic. Back here with JamArt. We're talking about philosophy. We're talking about one thing leads to another and everything like that. We're talking about how art becomes art and art eats itself. Well, we actually didn't talk about that. I just made that up in my head. But anyway, so let's talk about what inspires you. What inspires you, man?
Okay, a whole lot of stuff, but oh man, basically what inspires me is your intro inspires me. From the darkest corners of the world, for me, what I hear is from the deepest complexes and from the inner part of that unseen area of every person that is never explained, and the person themselves don't even know it until they look in within themselves. That kind of stuff inspires me. I basically do a backflip into my soul and try and find things, and it's almost like there's another world where there's like other beings, and you sort of get in contact with that kind of world, and you don't have any control over it. You can't have. It's like a dream. You can't really control it and navigate yourself, but you can just take little glimpses of things and take them back with you, and then it starts off a whole new sort of thought process, and then you sit down and write a song.
Right. Do you start writing on acoustic or piano? Like, how do you start writing?
I always start on acoustic. Of every single song I've started on acoustic because it's the closest thing. I've got like 4 acoustics all set up in areas where I need to get at them quickly, because if something does come to mind or something, I need to be able to try and translate it into tune, and then it starts from there.
That's what I do too. I'm the same way. And the strangest thing is where inspiration strikes. A lot of times it'll happen when you're nowhere near a guitar, and that's the worst feeling in the world. And
in that instance, I grab my iPhone and I start humming.
Right into it.
Yeah, I record. I've even woken up early in the morning and reached over to my phone because something's come to my mind, and I've hummed the notes and then gone back to sleep again, and then woken up the next day. Sometimes it's like, what the frig am I humming there? But I'll try and work it out.
I've done that quite a bit, and I've done one where I've had the phone out and hit record, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got it, right? And then I've got the acoustic there, I've got a capo on it maybe or whatever, and I'm banging away, and it sounds so good, but I cannot for the life of me remember what I played,
Yeah, well, that is a shame, because you've just denied the world something great,
Right.
We need that from you.
Right. But that's the worst. And there's probably thousands of takes like that in a hard drive that I cannot for the life of me remember what I played, what tuning it was in, because you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got it, you've just got it. But then you don't, because you didn't write anything down. And I'm good for that, not writing things down. I'm like, oh, I'll remember this. And then I never do. So
in a sense, I'm fortunate. I've never learned how to write music. I've always gone by ear. So I'm fortunate in that sense.
Well, that's good. So it's all muscle memory. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I find that note, and I'm always tuned to drop D. So
that's nice. Because once you write something in drop D, it's easy to find again because of the muscle memory. And I always think that that's always the way to go. And then the alternate tuning stuff, it sounds great, but can I ever remember what I played? No, I can't. Yeah. So you're right on with that. I do have to give a quick shout out here. Our show is funded and brought to the people, by the people, for the people. And we always want to dive into the undiscovered realm of music with our groundbreaking shows and help us unearth the hidden gems that deserve the spotlight, right? So your donation, it funds that journey, supporting talented, sometimes yet to be discovered artists, and allowing us to showcase their unique sounds, as well as all the great shows on the Steel Plaza Network. That's our flagship station, that we're just a satellite in their orbit. So why not be a patron of the underground? And together, let's amplify the voices of the next generation of rock, metal, alternative, alt country, experimental, indie. You're anything you want to experiment with, anything you want to support. Your contribution ensures that these beats stay fresh, the melodies stay innovative, and the undiscovered become the celebrated. Join us on this sonic adventure. Donate now and be a key player in the shaping of the future of music. Donate today now at www.paypal.me/Steel Plaza Podcast. So you got a sound like I can't really put a finger on, and I would assume it's by the instruments you're using to record this sound. What type of gear are you using?
Okay, so I use an Axter Ibanez guitar, and I use a Boss head. But the album, when I record albums, I use the sound that John Prosser uses at Vision Studios in Perth. He's he makes the actual sound. But when I play live, I use my Boss head amp.
Okay. Boss head. Okay.
And my guitar, my Axter, they stopped making them back in 1985, I think. So when I was like a teenager, my friend gave me that guitar. And that I used to play in the 90s in a band called Grimoire. They're like a full-blown death grindcore band. Mm. We used to like pack places out, and places would literally be closed down for renovations after we played because the crowd would like break things. And so this guitar got stolen about 3 years after I'd got it. Got stolen for like 15 years. And in that 15-year time span, I met a girl and I had kids and did all the things that a good father and husband does for 15 years. And then at the end of that, I found my guitar and didn't get along with my wife anymore, and we divorced, and I'm back into music again.
My God.
I know. That's like that thing we was saying before about this happens because of that, etc. I think it needed to be stolen so that
that's
I could
amazing.
Do those kids, and then it was time for the guitar to come back, and that's when I started JamArt.
That's amazing, and that's dear listeners, that's the divine providence I was talking about. That's the same thing as pulling the sword from the stone, almost in like a different way.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. When I found it again, I was like, "Whoa, this is my best friend."
Back again. And where did you find it?
Oh, well, I rang around because I was interested. I thought, where did that guitar end up? So I rang a person who might know, and he said, oh, yeah, that was in a hot shop, and so-and-so bought it. I thought, okay. So I went to that person's house. I found that house through someone else who was friends with him. And then I just knocked on the door, and he just looked at me. He turned around, and that person also knew me as well. So he knew it was my guitar when he bought it from the hot shop, and he still didn't come and find me. But anyway, 15 years later, I was at his door, and he turned around, didn't say a word. He just turned around, grabbed a bag of bits and pieces, because he took the guitar completely apart. The the pickups, the head, the machine heads, all of it. He took it apart, and even took the bridge apart, all the little, little screws and everything. He took it all apart, the wiring, and gave me this bag of stuff and said, here's your guitar. And I was like, thank you. And I went straight to Guitar World in Cannington, and Rob Formenton, he put it all together for me. And that was it. The start of JamArt. Yeah.
Reassembled. That's amazing. That's amazing. Divine providence, some might say.
Oh, dude. And after that, I'm not even kidding. After I was playing on stage with my guitar again, my Axter, it's got a distinct look about it. Someone, Ray McGill from Lithic, he plays in over east. He came to watch his brother play in a band who I was supporting that night. And he saw my guitar and he goes, hey, I've got a guitar like that. And I was like, yeah, cool, because they're rare as hen's teeth and I've never seen one. He goes, oh, yeah. And then someone else overheard us and said, oh, how much do you want for your guitar to Ray? And Ray said, oh, well, it's not for sale. And then later on, Ray calls me and goes, hey, I want to give you my guitar. It was like he was under hypnosis or something. I don't know. But he goes, yeah, I want to give you my guitar. And he flew back to Sydney and sent it to me. He got my address and he sent the guitar through freight for free to me. And now I've got 2 Axters. And then someone else said they'd found an Axter on like Facebook sale or something and called me. And then so I called that ad, and then the guy said, oh, someone's going to buy it later today. And I thought, oh, man, that's weird, because according to the, I was thinking according to the universal way things have been going, I was meant to have that guitar, but maybe not. Then he rings me up and says, like a few days later, and goes, the guy never came. So I burned down there and got it. So now I've got like a wooden coloured one, I've got a black one, and I've got a white one. And they were the only 3 that they actually made back then. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
I'm so stoked about it. Yeah, so I've got 3 Axters, and I'm like, you can't find these things, man. There's anyone out there that sees an Axter, Ershon will buy it.
There you go. There you go. What an amazing story. What an amazing story. That's fantastic. What have you ever, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of Viking metal?
Yes, I have heard of Viking metal. Yeah, I think they did a write-up on JamArt on the Viking metal sort of radio station or something. Or
wow.
There is a Viking metal. I don't know what they do. They review bands, and they did a review on us once.
Wow, that's fantastic. Because I'm here to tell you now, the one we're about to hear on the darkest corners of the world, these guys are from Norway. And
cool.
And the name of the band is Arctic Heart. Their name of their album is Ragnarok, so pure Viking metal, right?
I love that name. I've been watching that, by the way, on Netflix.
Yeah. And this is their song, Odin's Hymn.
Together on the edge of the battlefield, ready to strike. Together with blood and with steel, marching out to battle with no fear in our heart. If we should fall in battle, we go. Together, my brothers of steel, we fight together until we should fall in back so we go home. All in, I roll farther. Grant us safe passage into your hall. Let's all drink together, my brothers of steel. We fight together until we rise again.
And back here on Darkest Corners of the World, we're talking with JamArt. I was pronouncing it JamArt like a fool. It's JamArt. Now that we know what JamArt means, but what you just heard was a band called Arctic Heart. And they're from Norway. And that song was called Odin's Hymn. And they classified themselves as Viking metal. The figure Viking metal from Norway. Bit on the nose. But anyway, back here with JamArt. And we're talking about a lot of stuff, but what we did not talk about was the new album. And the new videos are from the new upcoming album. They're actually singles for the new album. So let's talk about the new album and the direction it's going.
All right. Well, the direction is going as like in contrast with the last album. So the last album was just me on the drums and me on the guitar and me singing and me doing everything, because at that time I didn't really see or know any musicians that would be sort of suitable for this stuff, because everyone around here is like, you know, they're either like blast bleeding or sort of rock and roll. So it was just hard to, but eventually two musicians did come along. Well, firstly, the drummer came along and he said, I like your stuff, because that's why I released the first album, because I thought someone out there will listen to it and want to be a part of it. So the drummer came along and we became a two-piece for a while. And then we played a gig and someone comes up and goes, hey, man, you could do with a bass player. And I thought, well, why don't you go and learn the songs? And then he did. And he came back and we became a three-piece now. So this new album is actually three different musicians. So it's a normal album now. Like there is an actual bass player, a drummer, and me on the guitar and singing.
Right. There's organic beings playing the instruments.
Yeah. They're real, I think. Last I checked, though.
Yeah. They're not AI. They're not AI.
No. Yeah. It's not, I mean, I guess in the last album, it was like doing everything yourself. I mean, you could possibly get like, you know, what's that thing? Syndrome, when you're in a cave for too long and you're all alone, you start imagining people.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another philosophy thing. I can't remember what it's called. It's on another show on our network called Andy's Philosophy Corner. Tune in to Andy's Philosophy Corner. It describes that exact thing that we can't remember, but it's on that show. But yeah, and I get that for sure, because I did that for a while when I was in different iterations of the Wire Riots, because I had so many band members over the years, and it was so hard to keep people. It was so hard to get. I don't know what the word is, and I don't want to say the word committed. I don't want to say the word dedicated. But just it's hard to get people once you're at a certain level that aren't there just to be there because of the name. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I get you. Well,
Yeah.
these guys, they were fans of the music from the first album, and that was my intention from the whole start. I thought if someone likes my shit, they're going to want to play it. And I've got really cool Nathan, the drummer, and Dutchie, the bass player. Really, really happy with them. Yeah,
that's
so this
fantastic.
this is an actual real album, so I'm really stoked.
That's fantastic, and it feels so good to, actually create with people in the room with you, because it's a sonic feeling that you don't get by yourself. It really is.
Oh, totally, man. Like I do write the songs, and I need a certain level of control just to get that out, what I'm trying to get out in a song. I need a certain level. But I always say to the guys, look, this is as far as I need. Beyond that is yours. And then they just add their cool shit to it, their feels, bass sort of licks, and then it just makes it then. And yeah, I really love the guys. Really good.
It's fantastic, and that's such a fantastic thing when that all comes together. Yeah. I mean,
they let me. They allow me to do that. They allow me to have that certain level of control. So they're encouraging, and they're like, which is really, really important, I think, because there's probably lots of musicians out there that have got these really huge ideas, but there's just no one supporting them or encouraging or getting it, So they probably just have to swallow it and just carry on.
There's a lot of that, especially in the dark city of Pittsburgh. The dark city, the steel city, whatever you want to call it, because we've got so many musicians here that are so talented, and they're almost over talented that you can't place them with anyone else other than themselves, because no one can keep up with what they're trying to get across.
Wow.
So it's too much talent, so.
Yeah, I get you. Kind of like when you're going for a job as a checkout person, but you're qualified to be a doctor or something. It's just like, they'll be like, no, you don't fit here.
Yeah. But we see that a lot. And then, thankfully, we have a lot of bands here that have been able to evolve into what they are. And I think a lot of it is hearts and minds, and like understanding that maybe somebody doesn't see the vision, but they're willing to work with organically something a little bit different than what is being suggested,
Yeah. Are you guys far from Flint, Michigan?
Not really. About 6 hours.
Because one of the most interesting bands, if it's okay if I talk about other bands, is
Absolutely, it's the darkest corners of the world.
Cool. Well, a really dark and deep band whose lyrics and music strike a very deep, scary place is King 18 something or other. King, have you heard of that band? It's like they're metal, and they're from Flint, Michigan.
I haven't, but you need to have them on the show.
Oh, they're so freaking good, man. I'm just going to look them up because
you need to find them and tell them to be on the show.
They are freaking awesome. I think it's King something.
I do have every band from every country on the show, every state in the union. Yeah. So
they're called King 810, King 810.
Okay.
They are an incredible band, and they actually, like, you can hear their music, but once you know what they're singing about, it just, it's so fucking good, man. It's like, isn't it Flint, Michigan got like some kind of a nickname as Murder Town or something?
No, that's Chicago. Flint, Michigan is like one of the most economically impoverished places in America, and their water has been poisoned for over a decade. Poisoned.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. That's bad, man. That doesn't like anyone like over a decade. There's been a couple of different rulers over America for over the last decade.
Yeah. No one can fix it because it's something to the effect of the water got so screwed up there that it can't be fixed, and it's never been fixed. And yeah. And they tried to pipe it in from other states and stuff like that. And they've got all these like things in place to do, what's it called? Reverse filtration systems in the homes. All these different things, but the water has just gone pear-shaped, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that desalination or something they got?
Mm-hmm. Desalination, yeah.
They're turning like shit and piss water into drinking water. Like,
yeah.
They're doing it in Sydney, in the eastern states in Australia. People are drinking their own piss and shit. Yeah.
God damn. Yeah. And then we had, what was the other big one? It was East Palestine, Ohio, which is really close to here. The Norfolk Southern train exploded, and it had all these chemicals in it, and they just fucking shot it up into the air. Man. Yeah. So like it's been fucking wild here, man. Like
it's nuts, man.
And everyone had to evacuate, and everybody's getting like fucking all these lung problems and fucking skin fucking disease. It's fucking crazy. And then they're sending the current, I'll just call it current ruler.
yeah.
Instead of El Presidente, they're sending him there. Like, what's he gonna do? What is he gonna do? There's nothing he's gonna. Yeah,
I've got a song about rulers and the first album. It's called Public Killing.
Yeah,
it's basically a song about dragging them all out in the middle of the street and publicly killing them all. And it's like at the end of the song, it's like, it's time to kill all your rulers. And I'm really surprised they haven't been locked up yet.
Public announcement: the views of JamArt are not reflected by the darkest corners of the Steel Plaza podcast.
It was a song I had to write. It was just one of them songs I could not get away from.
I got it. Yeah, I get it. And you know, it's like I've been in the Army for 18 years, and
man.
Yeah, I've got 4 years left. So I get it. But it's like in the position I'm in, I'm not allowed to say anything. But you know what I mean? But there's always the wink and the nod, but you're not allowed to say it out loud. So the wink and the nod. What about, my
dad was in the Army. He kept running away though.
From the Army?
Yeah. No. Well, my dad is actually Turkish.
Oh, wow.
So the Army's compulsory over there.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't born there, so it's not for me to do it. But he was born there, so anyone who's born there is compulsory to go to the Army, and you have to do 2 years, man. As soon as you turn 18. Yeah, I think the same in Singapore. I think it's compulsory there as well, and Israel.
It is.
Actually.
And it's almost every country. Almost every country it's called conscription. Yeah. Almost every country has that, except for you guys, us, and I don't know who else. All right, but yeah, we're talking about like some of the wild stuff going on in the U.S. and Los Angeles, California is one of the wildest stuff going on. The show's about music. It's not about crazy stuff going on in the U.S. It's not about crazy stuff going on everywhere, but it is about the music. And so let's dial up a tune from a band from Los Angeles, California. They're called MAJIC, and it's spelled MAJIC. The album's called The Room, and the song's called One. Here it is. Right back here on Darkest Corners of the World from Los Angeles, California. That was MAJIC, MAJIC, from their album The Room with their song One. And we're here talking to JamArt. We're talking about a lot of stuff. We're talking about a lot of philosophies. We're talking about a lot of music. We're talking about what makes things tick, what makes people tick when they're writing songs. We want to talk about deeper meanings to things. And I know you have a song. You wrote a song that has sort of a deeper meaning, and it's almost goes back to their Hermetical texts.
Yeah. Was that a train I just said?
Yes, it is a train.
Man, that is so cool. It sounded like because we watch a lot of American movies here, and that train sound I only hear it in American movies. So it's just really weird. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've so yeah. The reason the network is called the Steel Plaza Network, and is because there's trains all over here that go through the Steel Plaza. Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool, man. Yeah. All right, sorry about that. I just had to.
Oh no, that's fine.
So yeah, the song's called it's called Wanted Dead, and it's basically about like in the Christian sort of world, they believe in their Lord and Savior, sort of like being nailed to a cross for days and dying there in front of everybody, and then what goes on after that is like different beliefs. But the song basically is, why couldn't you save your Savior? Like, for example, like someone that I love and they're not my Lord and Savior, but I just love them. I wouldn't let them be hanging on a cross. I would at least die trying to save them. But this guy was the Lord and the Savior of these people. So there should be like heaps of, all of the disciples should have died there at his feet. You know what I mean? Like trying to save him. But anyway, the song just goes on and twists it a little bit, because I did read a little bit about the twisted versions of the Bible that have different sort of stories and stuff. And I just thought, well, so they took him down. He, when people die, they get bloated and maggots and all this shit start happening. Right. But no, he was like, yeah, they took him down after he died, and then took him to some cave, and then, he just came back again. So that's what we call in our time a zombie. But he wasn't a zombie apparently in the stories. So I went and looked at other religious books about the same story, and the Muslim side say that his face or something was put onto that Judas guy. You know how there's some arsehole that sort of dobbed him in or something? Wow. His face was put on that, yeah. And he went on the cross, and Jesus wasn't on the cross, and he went to the cave and waited there for a few days until this other dude died, and then, you know what I mean? So wow. Then, yeah, the song then goes into, why didn't you save your Savior, blah, blah, blah. And then I explained why they didn't save him, because it wasn't him. And then it's like, it's not, when the angel comes to Mary and says, it's not your son up there, it's Judas instead. And that's in the song. Yeah, so it's pretty trippy. Like, Christian people don't really like me, but
that's great. So he was like a patsy, like Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a patsy. So,
that's fucking great. That just blew my mind.
Oh, cool, man.
It's like cool. It's like now we're on the Joe Rogan show. Like that just blew my mind, man. That's fucking crazy to think about. Like,
and that's the thing, right? Thinking is a thing that we a lot of people are lacking now. They sort of take a side, like footy teams. They just take a side and they root for that team, win or lose, and they don't. It's like every kind of philosophy. If we're born Christian, we just stick to Christians. If we're born Muslim, we just stick to that. Or Jewish people. But you need to look at all of it, because everybody's human and everybody's learned something from somewhere. Even the old African tribes have got some awesome secrets that we should be learning, but no, we just taught what they want to teach us. And
I don't know. Like it's like, to me, it's a mystery, to be honest,
It's like this. Think about a dude, just think about, like, hypothetically, which has also happened in the past, but in this instance, a guy in the middle of the ocean and he's sinking ship.
Right.
By the time that water reaches his neck, he's going to be screaming out to God, whether he believes or not.
Right.
He's going to be saying, God help, because he's already tried everything else. His boats failed him. His family's not around. His government's not around. His money's not around. Last thing, he'll be like, God, please help me. So I think all of us have that instinctual belief deep inside us, man. But
yeah. So there is something there. There is something there, but it's not specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's wild to think about. And you know what, like
the other day, sorry about that. The other day, I was talking to this old guy about it, and he's saying, "You're God, you're God," and I'm God, and that tree over there is God, and this, and I thought that's a very interesting concept, because he could be right, man. I mean, if God is like massive and omnipotent and huge, there wouldn't be any room for anything else, right? So maybe we're all just one big collective thing that needs to discover ourselves and each other, I guess.
I think that's a real thing, because, and it's said that God made himself in all of our images, and that, and so on and so forth. And then if that happened, then all of our molecules are God, right? So we are all God, if you think about it.
Yeah, well, there you go. So that's the Christian way. And in the Muslim way, because I've read a lot about the Muslims and the Christians, it's fascinating how much they've got in common.
Yeah.
The Muslim way talks about God being as one, unlike anything else. So if you break everything down, all the molecular structure and the atoms and molecules, and break it all down, everything is one. There's one thing, like the universe was one, and it blew up and became. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull all my hair out soon.
Well, that's okay, because that leads us into our next band. They're called Punks of the Empire, and are you ready for this?
Yeah.
For this? They're from Iceland. They're from Iceland.
Cool.
Name of the album is Gehenna. And the name of the song is Gehenna, yeah. And the name of the song is In the Valley of the Sons of Hinnom.
Oh, cool.
Right here on Darkest Corners of the World. Right back here on Darkest Corners of the World. What you just heard was a band called Punks of the Empire. And they are from a little place called Iceland. Name of the album is Gehenna. Name of the song was In the Valley of the Sons of Hinnom. Very fantastic band. Very fantastic band. Very, very aggressive. A lot of stuff going on in that song. A lot of stuff going on in this song. But we're back here with JamArt. And we were talking about, right before that song occurred, we were talking about a little bit of biblical question marks. But what I want to talk about now is some of the dangers of live shows. I know that I've had my last live, well, not my last live show, but a few shows before my last show, I had a bizarre injury where I did a jump on stage. I landed and I snapped a muscle in my calf, turned black, and I couldn't walk for a while. So these things do happen.
That's incredible. That's incredible, man. Like a couple of months ago, I went to the beach, and you know when the little waves are coming and they're like wetting you, but you don't want to get too wet because of the coldness, so you jump up a little bit so it doesn't wet too much of you.
No, not in Pittsburgh, because we have 3 rivers and river monsters. But yeah, I get it.
Well, in Australia, there's beaches everywhere, and I jumped up to avoid getting too wet from this wave, and when I landed, I snapped my calf muscle on my left. And yes, it goes black. And I was on crutches, but then I was like, man, my armpits are too sore. So I got a wheelchair for about 2 weeks. Yeah, incredible, man. About 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's unreal. Just the bizarre injuries you can suffer as a musician, you know?
Well, man.
It's like it's a war in itself when you're playing shows or when you're, near the water. I mean, the water here is, it could be an injury from any kind of sea creature. And here specifically, it's like there's people that go diving into the 3 rivers, either whether it be the Ohio, the Youghiogheny, or the Monongahela, or the Allegheny 4 rivers, I guess you could say. You're always going to brush against a dead body, you know?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Man,
or something suspected to be perhaps a dead body, you know?
That is so cool. I mean,
people just go swimming. Yeah.
Man, I could write lots of yummy songs there. I should move to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So my house in my backyard, you can like walk right to the Ohio River, and there's all these tales about sea monsters, or I'm sorry, river monsters, not sea monsters, river monsters that live in there, and it's a dangerous fucking river, and people go swimming in it and like throw their kids in it, like, yay.
Wow. That reminds me of that movie Stand By Me.
Yeah. With all the leeches everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I just watched it maybe last week again, because my friend hadn't seen it, and that's not acceptable. So
that is not acceptable. Yeah.
No, yeah. Like 40 years old, and they still hadn't seen it. It's like they hadn't seen Rocky.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had a massive long binge session on getting them caught up on all the stuff that should have.
Like, I would say gun to the head, but you guys aren't allowed firearms, so
yeah.
You're watching this. Knife to the head, I guess. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, to get a license here, you have to basically do 6 weeks of training with a air rifle, and then you have to do another couple of weeks with an actual gun in a range, and then you can apply for a thing as long as you're part of a club.
Oh, I thought you had to be a farmer there or something.
Well, even them, they have to go and get a a license, which involves that whole process. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's news to me. I thought guns were not allowed whatsoever there. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Okay.
no. My ex had a couple of handhelds. It's all licensed. You've got to have a proper safe and stuff. So there are ways of having them here legally. It just takes a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go through it. I'd rather just punch somebody in the face. But yeah. But yeah. So let's talk about Floors. Let's talk about the song we're about to play here.
Right, yeah, cool. All right, Floors is a very, very, very deep song. Yeah, it's about basically the fella in the movie. He's in the video. He's Damien Smith. He's a good friend of mine, and he's an incredible actor. This is his first acting show. He's not a professional actor, but he is an incredible actor, and I had to cut out a lot of it because we don't have enough time. In a song is only 5 minutes, but he really got lost in this in his character, and it was so good. I've got all that footage still, but anyway, he's trying to find his way home, which is death. So, because that's where we all end up. That is our true home. We're dead a lot longer than we are alive. So and he eventually succeeds, and he gets buried, but the way he tries to do it is touching, like he goes to jump off a building and a security guy sort of stops him, and he's struggling to get away because he just wants to jump off that building, and eventually gives in to the security guard, and they're like hugging, and he's crying into his chest, and it's just really thing because I have had a friend that has died in all the three ways that this video shows his attempts. Like, first attempt was like swallowing pills. The second was jumping off a building. And the third was, gassing himself in a car. So I've had a friend who's died in each one of those ways. And, it just sticks with you because you never feel like you just wish you were better. You never feel good enough that they could have called you first. And it sticks with you a lot longer than you think,
Right. And I was going to say, like, you accidentally said movie or whatever, but it's almost like you write songs for films.
Yeah, that's actually my intention in the future is to write movies inspired by my songs. So I hope I can get there. Just need a lot of funding.
They definitely, like, your songs definitely tell a story. And I said at the top of the show, I can't explain it. And now I think I can. I think I brought it all the way around where I can explain what JamArt sounds like. It sounds like music for a film.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah. I think I figured it out.
That's very nice to have heard because I haven't heard that before. So, and it makes sense.
So here it is. JamArt. From their album, Ominous, this is Floors.
Cloudy is a path we're taking, a road full of thoughts. Lonely is a heart that's breaking, left out on the floor. He wants to go home, but it's a place he's never been before. Returns to the street, returns to the floor, returns to the floor.
Okay, that was JamArt from their album Ominous. The song was called Floors. Great video, great visuals. I need you to check that out. All right, tell us where everyone can find all your stuff.
Okay, so we're on, like Spotify and Apple, and basically everything gets loaded up to something called DistroKid, and they just send it to everywhere, like YouTube, and there's like about 20 different places. But if you Google JamArt band, JamArt as one word, and then band, you'll find us, hopefully. Yeah,
absolutely. And I need you to check out JamArt. I need you to do it. I need you to do it for yourself, not for me, not for the channel. I need you to check it out for yourself, because you're going to say, why didn't I do this sooner? And you're going to hear something that you've never heard before, and it's going to be life-changing. I guarantee you that.
Thanks, man.
if you haven't tuned in before, I need you to tune in. I need you to tell a friend to listen to the darkest corners of the world, because we do feature bands from all over the world, and I implore you to keep sending your stuff in. And if you've sent it in and we haven't got to you yet, we will. You are in a queue and we will get to you. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time, and it's a matter of funding, but we will get to you, and we love you and we support you, and we love your support. Until next time, we'll see you right back here on Darkest Corners of the World.
The winter moon just hangs in the sky, thinking about a lot of things, but never wondering why. Smoking all my consciousness away. A clever tune just plays on repeat. Get up to change it, but I lost my feet. Rubber legs, so I think I'll just have a seat. Drinking a beer as cold as your heart. It doesn't even matter, 'cause we didn't even start. With a coin collar in the air. It doesn't even matter, 'cause we didn't leave prepared. Let's just switch driving off the climb. Take it to the river, 'cause the child ain't mine. Your child